You're ready to start a business in Utah, but navigating legal steps, paperwork, and rules on your own, well, that's where things get overwhelming fast. And Utah is a fantastic place to launch with some of the lowest startup costs in the country. And in this video, I'll break everything down, no legal background needed, so that you can form your LLC and grow the business that you've dreamed of. But before we begin, there is one big privacy mistake that most DIY LLC owners never see coming. So stick around because we'll talk about that here in a minute and explain what it is. But first, if you're thinking about, where to start your business, Utah honestly makes it super appealing. Setting up an LLC here costs just $59, and you only have to pay $18 each year to keep it active. Seriously. That's one of the cheapest places in the entire country to run your business. And Utah also keeps things simple with a business-friendly flat income tax rate of 4.95%. And unlike many states, you won't deal with corporate or franchise taxes biting into your profits. Plus, the state's economy, it's booming, right? And it makes it a really welcome spot for new businesses to grow. Utah is easy, affordable, and actually helps you keep more of what you earn. But naming your LLC, believe it or not, that's where lots of business owners actually stumble. So ready to hear what trips people up? Well, let's break down how to nail your LLC name so that things go smooth from the start. But before we jump in too deep here and get into this, here's one thing to keep in mind. So starting your business, it should be exciting and not overwhelming. But forming an LLC, on your own, that can get confusing fast with all the legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything in this video, but if any part of this feels confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way, just go ahead and click right up here at any time during the video to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. All right, so you might think that picking an LLC name sounds easy, because it does. But this step is trickier than most people expect, and it's where a ton of Utah business owners accidentally get rejected, even after getting excited about a new brand. So before you order mugs with your logos, here's what actually matters, right? So Utah requires your business name to stand out from every other registered entity in the state, and it must include a legal ending like LLC, LLC, or limited liability company, or even abbreviations like LC or LC. Now, Utah is hyper-specific about what names you can and can't use, so you'll need to skip words that could make people think that your business is a bank, a university, or tied to the government. So if your dream name includes words like bank, university, Olympic, or state, well, you'll probably need special written approval from the right agency first. And you want to find a name that's unique, fits the state's rules, and lines up with your brand. Now, once you've got a winner, if you're not ready to fill out all the other paperwork, you can reserve it for 120 days for $22 extra. But don't get stuck here, right? Figuring out your registered agent is the real next move. And almost everyone underestimates how important that role really is. So let's talk about it. Now, you absolutely need a registered agent, right? State law says that every Utah LLC must list a real person or a company with a physical street address in Utah who's available during business hours to receive important legal and state documents. Now, if you skip this step or mess it up, you risk missing critical paperwork, right? Lawsuits, tax notices, which can obviously lead to ugly surprises and even get your business suspended. Now, sure, you can be your own registered agent if you live in Utah and work regular hours at your listed address. It'll save you a bit of cash, but heads up, your info goes public. That means mountains of junk mail, your address floating around online, and your privacy is basically gone. And this is why I think using a professional service is honestly the smart play. Now, personally, I have used and recommend Northwest Registered Agent. They've built a reputation for top-shelf privacy protections, friendly support, and no hidden fees. Now, if you hire them to help form your LLC, the cost is just $39. Plus, one amazing perk is that you can use their business address on all your public filings, keeping your home information private and cutting way down on junk mail. So if you want to check them out, you can go ahead and click right up here at any time. Trusting your registered agent choice means more peace of mind and way fewer headaches too. Now, next, you're almost official here. So let's get ready to file your certificate of organization, because that's what really unlocks your new LLC in Utah. So this is the step that makes your business official in Utah, filing your certificate of organization. It's basically your LLC's birth certificate, right? And it's surprisingly straightforward. To kick things off, you'll hop onto the Utah Division of Corporations website and create an account with an Utah ID, which gives you access to submit all the forms online. And once logged in, you'll fill in details like your LLC's name, the business address, the registered agent's info, and who's organizing or signing the formation. Now, the state charges a flat $59 fee to file, whether you do it online, by mail, fax, or even in person. So So there aren't any hidden costs or surprises here. And if you want to get things moving even quicker here, there's an expedited service for an extra $75, but most people find that the regular route is plenty fast. And once the certificate of organization is approved, your LLC officially exists and you can start building your business. Now, everything you put on this form, it does go public, so double check before you submit it. And once you're done, the business is real, but having an operating agreement in place, especially if you have a partner or partners, is what keeps things running smoothly. So let's dive into why that's so important here next. So let's say that you filed your certificate of organization, but here's a move that most first-time LLC owners forget. That's writing an operating agreement. Now, Utah doesn't legally require you to have one of these, but skipping this step can set you up for a lot of trouble down the line. This document spells out who owns what, how profits get split, and who's making the big calls if there's ever a disagreement. Think of it as your business's kind of rule book, right? It's written by you, not the state. Even for single member LLCs, having one helps prove that your business is the real deal. And banks often want to see it before letting you, open up a company account. And it's often needed for things like, leasing, an office or applying for loans. And with partners, it prevents those awkward, wait, who's in charge here type of moments, right? Before they even happen. All you need is an internal document, and you can find templates online or using AI that everyone signs and keeps with their records. And there's no need to file it with the state. Now, once you've got your game plan down and everyone's clear, you'll unlock tax flexibility, asset protection, and genuine peace of mind. Now, with your operating agreement in place, right, it's time to grab your EIN, which is the business version of a social security number, which opens doors to taxes, banking, and hiring employees. So stick around and I'll show you how to land yours in just a few minutes for free. Now, you need your EIN or your employer identification number for banking, taxes, and hiring employees. The quickest way is to use the IRS's online tool, which lets you grab your EIN for free in about 10 minutes, right after your LLC is approved. All you need is your LLC info and your personal social security number. Then you answer a few questions, hit submit, and you're good to go. Next up, let's keep your LLC on track by talking about compliance. So once your LLC is up and running, staying legit means filing an annual report every single year with the Utah Division of Corporations. It's not busy work. It's how the state keeps your records updated and your company stays in good standing. The fee is just $18 and you'll file around the anniversary of when your business was first formed. Just be sure to mark your calendar because if you miss this deadline, you'll have 30 days to pay up, but there's an additional $10 fee. And after that, the state can label your business as expired, which means more paperwork and extra fees to reinstate. Next, we have taxes. So Utah's LLCs, they are treated as pass-through entities by default. So profits get taxed only on your personal return rate at 4.65%. And there's no double taxation. If you sell goods or services, you also need a sales tax permit and may be subject to local business licensing depending on where you operate. Now, most businesses, they won't need a state-level business license, but some local cities and certain industries like food or finance or health, they do require permits. So just check with your city if you're unsure. And getting these pieces right keeps your LLC rolling year after year. But let's make sure that your business budget stays on point too. So next up is breaking down every dollar that you can expect to spend to set up and keep your LLC running. All right, so let's go over all the expenses to expect, startup versus ongoing costs. All right, so startup costs. So your certificate of organization that is required, $59 to file with Utah's Division of Corporations. Next, registered agent, optional but highly recommended. Northwest registered agent is $39 for the first year. Then your name reservation, it's optional, $22 if you want to hold your LLC name before forming. Then a DBA, doing business as, you'll know it if you need it, $22 for that. Business licenses, permits, these are if needed. So that varies. Salt Lake City, they start at $100, but most cities are between $100 to $150. So for a typical LLC, excluding industry-specific licenses, expect to spend around $60 to $200 to hit all the basics. Now ongoing costs. So your annual report that is required, $18 per year. Your registered agent renewal, so Northwest registered agent, $125 per year to stay in compliance. And then your business license renewal, $100 to $150, varies by location. So for ongoing costs, you can expect around $120 to $450 annually, depending on your agent and your license needs as well. Now again, to help with all this, I do advise you to use Northwest registered agents, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on running a profitable business. And if you have any questions for me or a little bit confused about the process, no problem, just drop me a comment below and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.